Well, the last 5 months have been very painful for the equity markets. In fact, in technical terms, if you look at the Nifty Mid-Cap Index is about to enter the bear market, while the Nifty Small-Cap Index has already entered the bear market. Amid such toughness in the market, we have Raamdeo Agrawal joining us to decode how to steer such weakness in the market and what to do going forward. So, there are multiple reasons that have led to this market fall. We will not discuss that definitely, but how much further do you see there could be a downside in the markets? Do you see that bottom is now near?
I have no idea. That's the truth, and nobody has any idea. Let me tell you.
Right.
So don't bother about anybody knowing it. But it's a process. Last year, index went up by 10%, but we made 40-50%. People made 70-80% also. So there was too much of divergence in making money, and bulk of the money was made in mid and small. So obviously, mid and small did extremely well, more than even the indices underlying. So clearly, on a 10% rise last year, you had 40% return. So there was almost 25-30% excess return. Some portion of that had to go away this year, and that's what is happening. So my sense is, on a limited fall of the broader market, say by 10%, 15%, which will look like a healthy correction, the decline in mid and small will be far sharper, maybe 25-30%.
Right.
Or already that much has happened. So some more to go, but that's a process.
Right. And based on historical trends and your understanding of the market, do you expect that, how do you see the recovery will be in fact? Will it be a swifter one or will it be slower one? Can we see all-time high this year, or will the recovery be very much slow right now?
See, one is that fall will be very gradual because there is a continuous inflow from the domestic side. So
Right.
market is well supported at every level. That's why you see whenever FIIs are selling at 4,000 crores, DI is continuously there to support that. So there is no crisis of flow. So it will be very gradual decline in the market. But what cannot be sustained will not sustain in valuation terms. What cannot sustain, if the stock is at 100p or 150p, and that is not a fair valuation of the company. Okay, so all kinds of supplies will come and buyers will not come. So promoter himself may come and sell. You know, if the price is wrong, why not? Promoter will find ways of selling it. So, and then the existing holders, say 50% with the promoter. So promoter might sell 5%, then 50% holders which are there, and they're smart guys, they will come and sell. And it will go to whom? The guys who are very innocent, the guys who are coming in new into the market. Those innocent people, they will end up buying. So, so my sense is that there were excesses in the valuation of mid and small. And quite a bit of that is already cleared in last 4-5 months. And depending on how well the earnings come and earnings growth come, I think individual stocks will take their own course. And there are some stocks which are already bottoming out.
Right.
So I think now the bottoming out process will be stock by stock, not mid cap all. There will be some mid caps which might have already made the bottom, or maybe in the process of making a bottom, or it has already started recovering. Stronger companies, you will find they would be recovering at a first sign of bottoming out. So I am seeing some, say like today is the day when actually, you know, say you see some kind of a, yesterday and today, some stabilization.
Right.
See which are the stocks which are making kind of a sharper recovery. So those are stocks where I think, so it will be very stock wise, and you have to be, see, like as an investor, I never bother about what market is going to do. I am concerned about what stock is going to do, what the company is going to do. If the company prospects are bad, whatever, I mean, somebody might be selling at $1,000 or $800, I don't care, because it's a hopeless situation.
So I guess valuation is what was one of the concern, and that is still the bigger concern when it comes to mid and small cap at least. But when it comes to large cap, valuations now look pretty much at par with what it was at a 5-year average wise, if we look at. Then why is it that we are not seeing a recovery when it comes to large cap till now?
Yeah, so their FI selling is continuous. See, FIs hold 30-40% of the liquidity in that particular, those counters. So clearly, for whatever macro reasons, they are selling. And hence, whenever the domestics go and try and buy and become bullish on them, the water is thrown from FI side. So that's how the stock is not able to see a higher level. And second, I think one of the things was the banking sector, where in 24-25, a lot of regulatory thing came up by RBI to slow down the credit growth, and that led to the earnings growth decline. And so I think that sector suffered big time in that particular period, because between 20 to 4 years, it was led by banking sector. Because the earnings growth in that sector was upwards of 25-30%.
Right.
Then, as the credit growth started slowing down, some of the larger private sector banks, they started suffering, and that took the fizz out of the entire sector. And on top of it, FIs had their own reason to sell, and they had the maximum ownership of those banks. So it all came together to depress that particular sector, and even now it is staying depressed. So let's see, what pulls out, because markets are very complex. Quite possible that in the new regime now, maybe credit, there is a rate cuts, there is a promise that credit flow will be better in the economy, and there is a fiscal push also in this budget. So all in all, I think as the economy starts recovering the first half of this year, hopefully the mood in the FI segment and mood in the even banking sector. Right now, mood in the banking sector is bad, I can tell
Right.
this. So would that, see, when you talk to the banker, if he doesn't give a very good commentary, then you also think, okay भाई, if आप ये जैसा बोल रहे हो कि बहुत टाइट है, बहुत तकलीफ है, तो फिर मैं क्यों मरने जाऊँ इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए, उस टाइप का है. when the banker says that boss everything is good and बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, हमको 30% ग्रो करना है, लेकिन we can grow only at 20%. That's the point of time when the buyers start flooding in.
Right. Actually, I had one question on that as well. Ki yes, government has done everything from the side. They have given tax regime, tax cuts, relaxation. Then there is RBI which has come in and done a rate cut as well. Capex is also pretty much steady if you look at the actual number. Is there any much more? What much more can the government do? In fact, is there any arsenal left with the government to give the government push going, to give the consumption push going forward?
देखिए, मैक्रो उतना मेरे समझ में नहीं आता, लेकिन सरकार का काम है खर्चा करने का, जो पूरा टैक्स आ रहे हैं उसको, और अच्छे से खर्च करने का. सो मतलब इंस्टेड ऑफ डोलिंग आउट लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, नाउ इलेक्शंस आर ओवर, सो नाउ दे मस्ट कम बैक एंड से दैट बॉस, द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर गैप इन द कंट्री इज सो मैसिव. So they have done a wonderful job in the past. So now they have to again bring that animal spirit in terms of executing with a lot of determination the infrastructure project, because the payoff is maximum. You can see in Mumbai what a dramatic change, because the one coastal road getting commissioned. That's changed the face of the city. I stay
right, travel time has also come down by at least 10 to 15 minutes on an average at any time.
And I am seeing more than 1 lakh car coming and going in a day. Maybe it might be 1.25, 1.5. So so it brings so much of efficiency and all. So I think the infrastructure push, which was going on for last 4-5 years, I think in the election period it got a little slowed down. So that push, the moment it comes, maybe in the first quarter or fourth quarter or first quarter, I think economy will get its strength, and now even bit of fiscal push is there in this budget. There is a tax cut that will start flowing from April itself. So, and then credit flow, which is even bigger than all of it.
Right.
So all three, when they come together, I think first half should see, and whatever gaps are there, at that point of time we'll see what needs to be done more.
Right. The reasons that you were mentioning, that led to a slower earnings growth. In fact, Q3 earnings growth, if you look at it, is one of the slowest that we have seen since COVID. For FY25, if you see, we started the year with an expectation of around 13-14% growth. Now we are expecting just a 5% growth. 5%. But for FY26 and 27, if you look at the assumption, it's barely around 14 to 15%. Do you think that is reasonable now?
No, I don't think we are expecting that high.
Okay.
Will be very, see, what happens is when the earnings are slow, they also don't have any crystal ball to say it can be 15-20%.
Right.
इतना किसी को नहीं मालूम पड़ता है. इवन एंटरप्रेन्योर को नहीं मालूम पड़ता है कि अगले क्वार्टर क्या होने वाला है. तो एनालिस्ट को क्या मालूम पड़ेगा. So clearly next year is work in progress, but all the stars are getting aligned. Fiscal, monetary, your soft oil prices, credit growth. I think credit is going to play a major role. So how fast we can deliver credit in the system, that would be the key. And so let's see. मेरे को लगता है कि by first quarter, second quarter, we should see real vibrance in the economy. Where at least the capex side pick up should be very clearly pronounced, and वो जैसे जब आएगा तभी आएगा, मतलब नहीं है. If for some reason still corporates are missing out on this thing, then government has to do something, and that
Right.
at that point of time only we'll come to know कि क्या कर सकते हैं.
Right. So last question that I have. FI have sold off nearly $10 billion in the last 5-6 months. You must be speaking to multiple foreign investors. What is your conversation giving? What has changed their view towards India? Is it the fact that they are moving funds from India to China? And what needs to be done for them to bring back this money back to the country?
There is no bringing back. ये सब आता है. ऐसे क्या? It's a global macro allocation. You know, I mean, right now still the all roads lead to America.
Right.
Strong dollar, strong economy, full employment, everything is America right now. And those 7-8 companies, they are global monopolies, you know. So, and more so, the entire tech boom. And उसी कारण देखिए थोड़ा सा चाइना में वो डीप सीक जो आया था, उसी कारण से ट्रिलियन $500 का रैली हो गया वहाँ पर. So now the stock markets have also become extremely tech sensitive, where the tech thing is happening, because tech delivers scale, it delivers monopolistic profits. So everything converges there, and there is a size also because it's monopolistic. So I think right now there is a massive strength in US and US currency. There is no reason. See, either you should be blistering in terms of growth, that you are 8%, 9%, and it is uncontrollable. So then people will find way of entering into India. But that is also not the case.
Right.
तो मैं क्यों आऊँ यहाँ पर? आपका करेंसी पिटा हुआ है, आपका इकोनॉमी इज स्लोइंग डाउन, योर कॉर्पोरेट अर्निंग्स आर स्लोइंग डाउन. अच्छा, वैल्यूएशंस भी ऐसा 8-10-12 का पी नहीं, 20-22 का पी है. तो समथिंग मस्ट चेंज. या तो करेक्शन है बहुत लंबा चौड़ा, वो भी नहीं हुआ अभी, 15% करेक्शन हुआ है. दूसरा ये कि अर्निंग्स बहुत स्लो डाउन हो गया है. तो आई थिंक वी शुड नॉट एक्सपेक्ट टू मच ऑफ फ्लो वेरी क्विकली from global allocators.
Right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us and giving us your insights about the markets.
Thank you.